Welcome to another episode of Distory. My name is Skipper Kirk, and with me, as always, is the illustrious, well-read, well-researched, and amazing author, Skipper Kate. Kate, how you doing this evening?
Hey, I'm doing really good. I'm super excited for this episode because I feel like it combines two of the things that we love the most, like as individuals, you know? Like
You have to explain, like, what are we talking about tonight, Kate? How about that? And then you can give...
No, I just want to jump right in. No, so tonight the last episode we talked about the native camp and the history of the Jungle Cruise. Because we're in our Jungle Cruise series. We've been here for a while. I feel like this is episode, like, part 17, maybe? And 16,
This is going longer than the mansion.
It is. So we talked about the native camp last week, and now we get to talk about what happened when they changed it in 2021. Just because the native camp was so detailed, we spent a lot of time on that. So we're going to talk about what replaced the native camp. So we're going to talk about chimps. Learned my lesson from last week.
Don't worry, I have Jane Goodall with me to back me up today.
Chimps, and then we'll also travel a little bit more downstream and talk about the history of the piranha, the water buffalo, and the python. So we got a lot of critters this evening.
It's very much not like you to go downstream. You're more of an upstream.
Upstream society, all the way.
Society.
100%.
Okay.
But before we go forward, can we go back? Just a little?
Sure. Let's do it.
So I just found something that we've been showing this for a while. This guy that's like riding in a crocodile on, from...
Oh, yeah. The GIF or the video that we've had, yeah.
I found the longer video of it, like where they got that from. And we're still trying to figure out who it is, but I know that Bob Matty was with this person. So I think it was somebody that was just assisting him. So it wasn't necessarily an Imagineer. So
It's like, because I remember there was like a kind of like a documentary of them building with Walt narrating. Is that the same video that you have?
Yeah, it's like, I don't know if I've ever watched this part.
Oh, really?
I don't think we've ever shown it. So
we just have more often than we know.
Built the giant lid for 20,000 liters.
Oh, no. I don't think we did share this part.
That's so cool.
It is a wiggle action.
There he is.
Listen, if you don't check your Crocs wiggle action, then what are you doing with your life?
He's just riding that croc.
I have to admit, I think I like the tail wiggle more than the riding.
I know, the tail wiggle was great, right? It's like a little rubber tail that wiggles around.
You know what? I love just when there are practical effects that are so simplistic, right? Like rubber wiggling tails, or one of my favorites from the Tiki Room, your shirt, are the spring tongues of the toucans and the birds of paradise flowers. They both use springs, so when they open up, they just go...
I know, I'll never see them the same way now.
Oh my God, it's the greatest thing ever.
And
It brings me so much joy.
Since we're mentioning the Tiki Room, I never realized that in the Disney World version, at least, there are like two sets of teeth that like come out of the on the...
Oh yeah, we've got on the Tiki guys. Yeah, there's a top and a bottom. Yeah.
Well, but their teeth like sometimes pop out and sometimes don't. Like I've never seen that before until recently, and I was like, "What is that?"
Oh yeah, that's their chompers, chomper A and chomper B, or upper and lower. You know what's funny? We rode Dinosaur today, and every time I see the iguanodon at the very end, I don't know what they did to its mouth, but it looks like it's straight wearing veneers.
Oh yeah, with the teeth.
It's like bad. It's like
he's a happy iguanodon.
It's I don't know. He should have been proud with what God gave him.
Oh goodness. Well, that's all I have to go back with. I do actually have something that's really, really cool, but I'm going to save it for next week because it's going to go with the Trader Sam gift shop. And you're going to flip out when you see it. But I'm going to hold that till next week.
Don't explode my brain just yet, Kate.
Yeah, we're going to keep it contained. So,
all right. But he's ready to host a game show. I feel that's actually pretty accurate. You know, like he could definitely, the iguanodon would be awesome at let's make a deal.
Yeah, he needs
Make
like,
a deal
a
with it.
suit and like one of those long microphones with the little
The
like
thin
round
ones, the
ball.
thin ones with the old Price is Right one where you hold it down here.
Yeah,
Because remember, like it doesn't have the, well, no, it's holding up the log. It's got longer arms. I was gonna say it's not like a T-Rex where it has tiny ones, because that would be a perfect microphone for a T-Rex. So if T-Rex, like it would go all the way up and they would just go, all right, so here we are. Okay.
now that we've completely derailed.
No,
we
that's
go-
not, that rides on a track. It didn't derail.
Yeah.
Fake history.
So let's talk a little bit about chimps on a boat, shall we?
Let's just talk about chimps in general real quick before, because I want to talk about chimps. And this is from Jane Goodall's, because remember we talked about how upset she was that there was no chimp originally on the Tree of Life over in Animal Kingdom. So amazingly, humans, monkeys, and apes, they're all primates. This is like a little pet peeve of mine, the whole monkey versus ape thing. And the simple way,
last week.
look. The simple thing is, does it have a tail? Most monkeys have a tail, but apes never have a tail. So the easy answer is humans are apes because we don't have tails, although we have tailed bones. So at some point, we probably had some sort of tail-like structure. You know, maybe not. Do they swing through the trees? Yes. Apes have greater mobility in their shoulder joints. So that's why they gracefully can swing between trees versus, just kind of like jumping more. You know, like monkeys kind of like scurry and jump and hop, where chimps, because of that shoulder rotation, can swing around. So, and then this is just crazy to me. It always freaks me out. But the closest living relatives to humans are chimps, and we share 99% of our DNA. Hang on. Wait, hang on.
That pretty much looks just like you. Yeah. It's accurate. Yeah, you share a lot of DNA with that one.
99% of my DNA is that exact chimp.
Did you have more about the chimps before we talk about
Oh, no, I don't.
chimps?
No, I don't. Our shoulders are better. Take that, monkey.
Yeah, you show that chimp.
No, see? I'm telling you, you got to watch your vernacular.
What you show that monkey? Oh, I
Yes.
didn't understand what you said. It's fine.
Yeah.
I was like, you just show that animal that I'm safe.
All right, I'm going to pull up concept art because I've had it updated here.
Okay, can I talk a little bit about what's going on in this scene while you have that?
Sure.
So we have a whole bunch of pieces from all the people on the Trap Safari on this boat. But it's interesting enough, sometimes the skippers will actually kind of make jokes and like passive-aggressive jokes about how the Imagineers really just kind of copied Marc Davis's concept about the chimps getting into things. So I think that's kind of funny that like they're just like they couldn't come up with something new. But the backstory of this area is the chimps are inhabitants of a riverside primate refuge. Around 1891, their presence was documented by Dr. Albert Falls, who noted them as hesitant to engage with the human world. At some point following 1916, Jungle Navigation Company boatsman Frank Wolf traveled to chimp country during an expedition to map a new route along the rivers of adventure. Around 1935 or 36, a boat called the Mekong Maiden, or the Quango Kate if you are in Disney World, was lost on rapids near the vicinity, causing the chimps to overtake it. So actually, sorry, it says in 1938, the chimps also hijacked the Quango Kate, so it happened 2 years later, following it getting damaged by the nearby hippo pool, marooning its passengers in the African belt. So if you remember when we were in the hippo pool last week, we saw the back half of the boats. Well, now we've got the full story of like, here's what happened to this boat, and here's who's getting into it now. I love how Chris Beatty, the creative executive from WDI now. I'm living like in the past. He explains it. He says that it's the animals really getting the last laugh in this little cute scene. These silly explorers really came in and invaded their world. And so the front of the boat's beached up on the rocks. And he said, we wanted to put something here that really feels like Marc Davis had a hand in it, that has a little bit of humor. And we wanted the animals to have the last laugh. So you see the family of chimps has moved in. And he says, we didn't previously have chimps in this attraction. Put a little asterisk next to that because we have to get back to that. All of these amazing animals have been brought to life through the years on the Jungle Cruise, and yet we've never had chimps. The family of chimpanzees jumps on the wreckage of the boat, and they're almost making fun of us. So I don't think that's accurate that they never had chimps, because I was actually sending this to Kirk earlier because he's my resident chimp expert, because I have this like video footage of them doing some repairs. This is on the Jungle Cruise. This is back in 1955 or 56. This is right around the Cambodian temple. And they actually have this, he just pulled this head off of this, like, what I think might be a chimp. And they sat up on the columns of the Cambodian temple region.
Just the normal, everyday chimp head.
It's just chimp head. It's so hard to see in here, but honestly, they do have tails because I've watched the video a couple times.
Mm-hmm. So maybe it's just a tiny monkey.
It could be.
Or maybe it's an inaccurate.
At least I think it has a tail. It's really hard to tell.
I don't know. I don't think it has one. And if anything, it could be a gorilla as well. That's the only other thing it could be. If it's not a chimp, it's a gorilla.
It's like this big.
But think about how tiny the gorillas are in the gorilla camp. Like they have a little baby. They have a little baby on the crate. There's a crate baby.
Crate baby. Maybe. I don't know. Let me go see if I can find another one. But do you want to talk about the map a little bit?
I wanted to just talk about this real quick to talk about
wait.
New film, and this would be Frank Wolf's. See, that's chimp.
I feel like it's chimp.
That's not gorilla. Those are chimps. I mean, they could be monkeys, but yeah,
I feel like they're chimps.
Yeah, size-wise. Although the face is really bad on that one on the left. Okay.
It's hard to tell.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
It's a blurry picture, but I don't know. I feel like it might not be accurate because this was so obscure too. This was just in like it was like really early when the attraction was open that they had those. So I don't know. I'm going to do a little more digging, but I suspect they might be chimps.
So map-wise, getting back to the film with The Rock, you have the Jungle Cruise film, and in this actual map, which went to Albert, is to many more adventures of a lifetime, FW for Frank Wolf, and he mapped the rivers of adventure, and the one section, and this is in the Disneyland version, Chimp Country, right there next to the hippo pool. So that's the section where supposedly the Quango Kate, or in Disneyland, what's it called?
The Mekong Maiden.
The Mekong Maiden was lost.
And so if you notice the map that he has up there, that one is world map. Now the chimp that I'm showing you is actually the chimp that is in the Mekong Maiden in Disneyland. But you'll notice this map is identical to that map. So a really unique quirk of this update is they put the map for Disney World in the Disneyland attraction. And in Disney World, they put the map for the Disneyland version of the attraction. So they're like sharing. They're like from another place. See, that's the Disneyland one. So they're just swapped, but that's Disneyland. Yeah, exactly right.
Do you have the concept? Do you want me to pull the concept? I have the concept stuff real quick. All right, so there's concepts, and then here is actual. Up here so you can actually see it. So I of course have more Walt Disney World, as you are a resident Disneyland expert, but I think this was actually pretty ding-dang close. The only difference is you notice that there's a parasol in the chimp up top, and in the actual version they have him holding the second half of that sign. And on the bottom, in the center to the right of the map carrying chimp, that chimp has butterflies all of it. They decided to delineate that out to a completely separate section. So
there's actually a couple other things too. So this is actually a family of chimps according to the story. So the one holding the map is the mom. And you see this one is actually just like studying the maps and going through it, but they changed it to them actually like ripping the map, which is a big difference. And then there's a skipper hat on this one in the concept that never made it into the attraction, although he is holding on to that speaker, like he's narrating the cruise for everybody. So I love that they turned the skipper into a chimp.
yeah,
Which is hilarious.
well, that's the old joke is, well, they say that my job's so easy, a monkey could do it, but those are chimps, so you'd be wrong.
Right. Yep. So the one in the front is kind of like the daddy chimp, if you will. Like it's kind of that's because it's a family. I mean, there's other kinds of families, but in this one, it's a daddy. And he said, this is actually from Chris Beatty when he talks about it. He says, one is wearing the skipper's hat, is on the microphone. Then the mother chimp has enough maps and looks like she's reading them. So this is him talking about the concept for it before it was actually instructed. Then the little chimp has gotten into the wildlife painter Rosa Soto Domingo's supplies and has made a mess with paint everywhere. And then one little chimp is holding a man-eating plant, which actually you showed it there as broccoli, which is why I asked you, is that Disney World version? Because I think Disneyland actually has, I have a still from behind the scenes where it shows it here. And he's got a little man-eating plant instead.
Yeah, our chimp loves florets. What can I say? Actually, that chimp is royal because he's holding a crown. Come on, that was good.
That was a good one. It took me a minute. I thought you were talking about this one. I was like,
No.
I feel like there was one more. Oh, there's the one that's on the top that's playing with a sign on top of the boat, which you mentioned changed from the parasol to a sign. I do have a little like behind the scene too. This is what they look like as audio animatronics.
Jump scare much.
Sorry.
Holy cow, please, like, give me that is horrifying. I didn't realize we were doing a Rob Zombie film. Holy cow. That could be in Halloween Horror Nights. That thing is scary. For anybody that's listening, Kate just decided to pop up a giant chimp animatronic with no fur on, so I could see its dark black colored exoskeleton. But guess what? It still had its face and its tongue out directly staring at us. So, there you go.
Oh gosh. So that is him. And there's rumors that at least one of these chimps, the mold from them came from Cheetah from the Great Movie Ride, which is
Okay.
things like this.
Let's.
Which would be probably the one that has got into the paint. I feel like it's the paint one.
All right, hang on. Let me catch up to you. For those that don't know what the heck we're talking about, I am showing pictures of the Great Movie Ride right now, and the scene that we're talking about is the Tarzan scene. So Tarzan comes swinging in on a vine, and then you have Jane on an elephant, and then you have Cheetah hanging, chilling, laughing. Kind of
Keep that up.
I will keep this up.
Keep it up. Let me see if I can find a good one of that one.
Side by side,
Yeah,
chimp action.
so we can see him. This one's a pretty good one. Because they look pretty close.
Yeah, I mean, they're chimps. Like, what do you want?
But like their faces are similar though,
They are chimps. I don't know what part of this, like, I'm just gonna, my argument is they're chimps, Kate. They all look the same. They're chimps.
They share DNA with us and we're people and
Well,
on.
yeah.
we don't all look the same.
Well, yeah, I hear you and I understand, but what human looks like that? None. I argue.
It looks kind of like the iguanodon from Dinosaur.
It's, you know what? It's, I mean, obviously they put new textures and everything on it. I mean, it's possible. I don't know what the movements were like and if it makes sense to reuse an audio animatronic. I'm not sure. But
well, they do that a lot, you know, with repurposing audio animatronics, and they're but often they will give them like new fur and new face.
Except for, and it does happen here in the Jungle Cruise, is living with the lands. We just straight up take the living, when we have monkeys go down in the Jungle Cruise temple scene in Walt Disney World, we go, where can we find a monkey? I don't know. Take it from Living with the Land. They don't care, you know? And you know what's kind of funny? That scene, that exact scene in Living with the Land, which is the waterfall scene, waterfalls on your right-hand side, left-hand side, there are only 2 monkeys left. And then there's alligators in the water. There's also butterflies there, which is kind of just interesting. Now it's monkey versus chimp, butterfly, monkey, butterfly. But yeah, they literally just grab those monkeys and threw them into the temple. I'm pairing them together because that's what happens in these scenes coming up. Yeah, this is a Distory shirt. You can get it at DisneyCicerone.com. Represent.
I speak fluent Distory.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting to me, another little feature of this, they do have a couple different things. They have a return. Oh, it's kind of cut off here, but you can see it's returned to L moss, so lettered moss box back there. And I think in the Disney World version, it says on that bag that's hanging with the art supplies, it says the name of property of Rosa R. Soto Dominguez, which is Rosa, so the artist who is good old friends with Alberta Falls. And I also like this for the back of the boat, that they made it wood, because these boats are 100% fiberglass. They are not wooden boats, but they like made it look like it's wood, which is very clever because they were actual Jungle Cruise boats that they retired, and they just made them look like they were wooden and broke up on the rocks.
Cool, like little extra detail, because otherwise if you just broke it up, it would be nothing but nothing.
Yeah, 100%. So you have the Quango Kate.
I'm trying to find the bag. I'm not seeing this bag that you're talking about.
It's hanging. I think it's in both of them. Well, this is the Mekong Maiden. You have the Quango Kate. I have the Mekong Maiden. It's for sure hanging right next to him.
Yeah. I mean, we have some unlabeled trunks. A lot of this stuff did not have labels for the specific characters because our trunks and our most of our things are in the hippo pool. So, you know, most of the gear for them is all the way back in the hippo pool.
Yeah, I don't see it either. Like even on mine from there, like I don't see a bag hanging next to that chimp at all. So that's interesting. I feel like I have photos of it, but I guess I don't.
Yeah.
So.
Such is life. Not all chimps have baggage, you know? Most of them just go on with their life. They don't even think about it. They just do it, you know? Move on.
Oh my goodness.
There's some.
So, do you have anything else of the boat chimps?
I do have nothing with boat chimps. Nope. I thought I had something from AWOL's script, but I don't. I have something for butterflies.
Okay. Well, why don't we float on down the river towards the chimps that are hanging out with all these crates, which you're showing the concept art for there. Do you want to talk about those?
Yeah, you know what really bugs me about this concept art?
What?
All the insects. Because they're bugs, Kate.
Uh-huh. Yeah. Okay. Great. That's great.
Oh, come on.
That was a pretty good one. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I love how you're like, yep, whatever. So the ones that we actually got are actually very similar to that. I was trying to read all of these. That's what you know how I love crates. It's a thing for me.
You are, I'm pretty sure they named that store after you.
What, create expectations?
No, I'm going with Crate and Barrel because that's all you look at Disneyland. You don't like look anywhere. You're like, everybody's like, oh man, that attraction is really great. You're like, wait, what's behind this box? I don't know. Check it out.
What's on the box? That's what I want to know. Or in the box, on or in or around? Who knows? So the crates they have here, they're only slightly different between Disneyland and Disney World. There's fragile live insects with the jars, of course, falling out of the bottom. There's one that says, caution live slugs, which is hilarious because slugs are like not dangerous. Most of them. If you,
I don't know. Have
your tongue go numb.
Slugs they hold grudges. They get real salty. So you gotta be careful around slugs.
No, you can't put salt on slugs.
I know. That's the joke, Kate. Thanks for explaining the joke. Welcome to Comedy, kids, with Kate, the Disney Cicerone. Literal.
Okay. No, so I went to outdoor school when I was in 5th grade, okay?
Wait, you went to what? What did you just say? What is that?
Outdoor school?
What? Hang on. Let's talk about this. What?
Outdoor school. Okay. You don't have, okay. That's podcast different.
It's like summer camp?
So, no, well, every school in Oregon I think it's 5th grade, will go for 1 week and they go to this outdoor school. So there's a couple of them placed around the state, but usually it's near some sort of ecosystem. So you learn about the entire ecosystem while you're there, and you get like a camp name that's like a nature name. And I think we did like a night hike that had like those lifesavers that when you like crunch them at night, they like spark in your mouth. I remember doing that.
Yeah, those were like the mint ones that, they had colors, like little tiny sparkle colors in them. Yeah, I remember those.
So we did a night hike. But we basically just like learn about nature the whole week, which is a very Oregonian thing to do, admittedly. But I think it was like a state initiative that they're like every kid when they hit 5th grade are going to go out in nature for a week and like learn about our state, essentially. So everybody does it here. I was actually like trained to be a counselor at outdoor camp. So
that's very cool.
Yeah.
Honestly, we had some local camps that were mainly summer camps, but also Boy Scouts and Girl Scouts used them. And in elementary and in middle school, you would go for like a day or two, and they had like really fun obstacle courses. And I had a lot of anxiety as a kid about a lot of things, but I liked being adventurous, but I also like choked under performance a lot because I was afraid to fail a lot, but I always did really well, but I just put all this pressure on myself. And there was a catwalk or a balance beam that went over mud, like, and every kid would talk it up. They'd be like, if you fall off the balance beam, your whole entire up to your waist, up to your neck, and I'm like, everybody does it. What if I don't? And I just was so stressed about it. But it was so easy. It was like, what are we even talking about? And some kid did fall off, and he didn't even fall in. Like, it was like, what is this? Kids, you know how it is.
Oh, well, little Kirk story. I love that.
Kirk. Yeah. But it was really fun. Actually, one of the best. I think it's the reason why I loved haunted houses. It was called Camp Akanikin, and the Boy Scouts would run a haunted house that went into the cabins, and they would tell really good stories in each cabin, and then the cabin would kind of have interactive pieces, and they had this really fun, super easy practical effect. So in my theme park, we'll probably have it. You just bury a mattress in the sand, and there's quicksand. And it felt so crazy because like it looked like flat Earth, and then you're walking through the woods, you can't really see that well, and then
really so cool. Interesting.
Yeah, it was really fun. Yeah, it was like I was like, oh my god, all these effects are amazing, and like I don't know, I'm such a nerd. That was really cool.
Well,
anyway, back to the Jungle Cruise, maybe.
Yeah, the point was outdoor school. We did a lot of interacting with animals, and one of the things we did was we caught a banana slug, and like it was like a rite of passage for you to lick the banana slug because it makes your tongue go numb.
What?
So, yeah, banana slugs. They're like big, giant yellow slugs. They're like
I guess we're lucky huge. That your outdoor school wasn't in Brazil and you guys were like licking toads out there. Did you time out? I guess the best question is, did you lick a slug?
I did.
What was the experience like, and would you recommend it?
My tongue went numb and it was gross, and I would never do it again. But it was like peer pressure. It was like everybody's licking the slug, so you gotta lick it too.
You know, if you ever want to know, if all your friends licked a banana slug, would you? Kate would. There's a banana slug.
They're really
How big
big.
are they?
They're like, yay big. They're
Oh wow!
they're
Wow.
huge.
Look at that thing.
Mhm.
Hang on.
So if you they're all
that's
over the
the
woods
palm.
here. So you go hiking here. They're literally everywhere, especially after it rains. We have epic slugs and snails here. They will devour my entire garden overnight if I don't try to do something to protect it. That's what we got here. This is our.
Well, I mean, I don't think, Kate, just gonna be honest with you, the banana slugs are gonna keep coming back if you keep licking them. So just don't reinforce the bad behavior. Let them just go. Do their thing. What do they have? Like a neurotoxin or something on them? Why do they
I don't even know.
have to have something? It's the slime secreted by these gastropods can be used as an anesthetic. Really?
Makes your tongue go numb. Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
See, we learned a lot in outdoor school. Anyway, should we get back to the crates?
No, let's just keep doing this forever.
I do have a really interesting difference between Disneyland and Disney World. So in Disney World...
Are you actually talking about how it turned out? Are we doing how it turned out? Okay.
Yeah.
Right.
So do you have Disney World? Is that what you got?
Yes. Yes, I
Okay.
do.
So your chimp is different than Disneyland. So this is Disneyland's chimp. And
Well,
this
we have
chimp-
two. We have two.
Okay. Well, the one that is sitting on top of the crate holding the butterflies.
All right.
That one
Get in
specifically.
close.
That one specifically is different. You can see that the one in Disney World is like chomping on a butterfly, and the one in Disneyland is looking at it under a microscope.
All I can say is we are hungry, okay? And that's just
Okay.
what it is.
The reason why is because the Imagineers at Disneyland did not want their chimps chomping on a butterfly. They thought it was like a stupid gag. And they're just like, no, we're going to do something a little more sophisticated. So I feel like these two chimps are the equivalent of Kirk and Kate.
Yeah. I'd do anything for a laugh. You would lick a slug. So whatever that means.
No, I'm busy over here inspecting tiny little details that probably nobody cares about, and you're over there getting a laugh. So
Yeah. Well, I feel like that's fair.
So the reason why they chose this, though,
But hang on, time out. This is a good gag, though. If you get the good perspective on it,
keep that up.
his lips look like crazy big, and it is funny.
Well, it comes from something that's very familiar to everybody.
Yo ho, yo ho.
Pirate's life for me. So you can see in the captain's quarters in Pirates of the Caribbean, only in the Disneyland version, he is looking through a magnifying glass at a map. And that is where they got the inspiration for that chimp.
Yeah, I do like that. That's a great call out.
Mm-hmm. They're like, we're going to go with the highbrow humor. You do what you want to do over there. But they did work together on most of this project, which is very rare. They don't usually join teams. But because of them making the same kind of updates, they actually work together, Disneyland and Disney World, which I think is neat.
It's, what's crazy to me too is this is just a weird thing with Walt Disney World specifically. Disneyland is still kind of completely ignored the Jungle Cruise. There was probably a couple months when they did all the changes that things were really popular, but it's still now only a 15-20 minute max for Jungle Cruise in Disneyland.
Well,
and
during slower times, it can get up there. It can get to 45 minutes plus on Disney.
Yeah, but today was relatively slow. Everybody was in Hollywood Studios because they had the live action Little Mermaid meet and greet, so everyone was was there. And as a result, Magic Kingdom was relatively dead. 30 minutes in the middle of the day for Haunted Mansion to me is a precursor for that's a a 6.5, 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Jungle Cruise was still 50-55 minutes. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
weird.
I don't know. I don't know if your guys is just, I can't figure out why, except for Disneyland has a lot more attractions, a ton more attractions in that park than Magic Kingdom. Magic Kingdom has a lot less. So I think it's just the fact that whole park has less attractions. I think is
it might be a density issue. I mean, your Fantasyland has such a jam-packed density of attractions in comparison to ours.
We have a ton, and we also have Galaxy's Edge. Like we've got like half of a park in a park. We've got a lot of things in Disneyland, and there's just Fantasyland has a ton of rides though, for sure. And then
I think your Fantasyland helps so much because our Fantasyland, we could use 2 more attractions in there. We could when we lost Snow White Scary Adventures, it was never crowded, but just that space should be used for an attraction.
Toad got replaced, but that one.
Well, yeah, but that's Winnie the Pooh. That's like apples to apples, in my opinion. Of like we got rid of Toad, but we got another attraction, Winnie the Pooh, to replace. I feel like that's fair. But
no, Magic Kingdom really leans on shows. Shows is like there's a lot more shows than Disneyland, and that they designed it that way. That's why they have Hall of Presidents, they have Country Bears, they have Mickey's PhilharMagic, they have Enchanted Tales with Belle. You've got Carousel of Progress. You have Monsters Inc. The list kind of just goes.
You're right. Why are there so many shows?
I can tell you why. Do you want to know?
I don't. No, I do. No, I do.
Because when they designed it, they designed it for the locals in Florida, because that Disneyland was a locals park. They would assume a lot of locals would be coming, and the people who mostly lived in Florida at that point were elderly. So they figured they would design a locals kind of park. So even if people didn't want to travel from out of state, the locals would still enjoy it. So when it opened up, Disney World, the Magic Kingdom did not have any thrill rides, not a single one. It's all slow-moving rides and a ton of shows, and that was because of the local population.
Well, listen, I'm okay with slow and I'm okay with dark rides, but I would like there's so many attractions that could go there.
Yeah, you just need more rides in general.
We need more rides. We need like at least, I think if we had like 5 more, we could spread things out a little bit.
Yep, I 100% agree. Anyway, back to Chimps on Crates. What else do we have for our chimpanzee friends?
Okay, hang on. Let me see. Let me read my notes real quick.
I did try to translate that crate that's in Chinese.
Yeah, how'd you do?
I used Google Translate, and all it said was like, pay attention was what I got. It says warning.
Which might be like warning, right? Like use caution maybe is the correct verbiage.
Because it says warning across the top of it already in English. And so I think it's just like caution, pay attention, careful.
Fragile must be Italian.
Fragile. Fragile. But I think live slugs might only be in Disneyland or Disney World. No, this is Disney World, I think, has the live slugs one, which would make sense that they've got the goofier version.
Oh, the only thing I had was whose bugs are all these is Dr. Chonosuke.
Chonosuke. Yeah. Dr. Kon Chonosuke. Yep. Mm-hmm. Who was up a tree over in the Trap Safari after.
With the little carnivorous plant.
Mm-hmm. Well, no. He's the bug one. You're thinking of Leonard Moss.
Oh, I'm sorry. My bad.
Mm-hmm. It's fine.
Bugs.
Yeah. Have anything else for this area?
Oh, I do. Hang on. I just wanted to read. I can't remember if we read this one. I was looking for chimp or butterfly, and I know this is Albert AWOL, but I just like it. All boat captains, please be advised that there are several reports of aggressive butterflies along the inner banks of the Amazon River. 3 guests have reported minor confrontations. To minimize the chance of future injuries, butterfly repellent is strongly recommended. Now, granted, this is way before this scene, but it kind of makes me smile that butterflies haven't been lost. And the fact that they say future injuries and butterfly repellent, which if we find butterfly repellent, that's like the Rosetta Stone for me in the Jungle Cruise. It's in the queue somewhere. And if it's not, there will be soon.
Butterfly repellent. Okay, I'll look for that next time.
I'm telling you, I'm going to find it in the last aid station.
Yeah, it's got to be there. That would be the most logical place.
It's there.
All I have is one of the jokes they say from it, where it says, look at all those butterflies. They're not what they used to be. Caterpillars.
It's true. That's what they are.
I was gonna apologize for my kids are like yelling at each other in the background, and Elliot.
Oh, you're gonna apologize for that?
I know. I was like,
Really?
why they can't even hear him over here? If ever there was a time for them to be yelling at each other. Elliot is going up to Folklight Festival right now. He's playing up there this weekend in Seattle. So
Oh, nice.
single mom in it. So I'm single mom in it by hiding in the closet. He had TikTok live.
Not gonna lie, that scene is pretty on par.
My kids are older, so if anybody's concerned, don't worry. They're So shall we move on to the Kilimanjaro Rapids / Piranha?
Yes, please do.
Okay. So the Kilimanjaro Rapids were around for a long, long time. We've already talked about them a little bit. We kind of skipped over Schweitzer Falls in this whole process just because we've already talked about Schweitzer Falls many times, and it is part of the native camp. It's considered part of the native camp. So then we have, after the falls, we have the Kilimanjaro Rapids, which really is not much more than just like, there was rocks on the side. They would make a few jokes about like the boat's going to crash or whatever in the rapids. And they would have a lot of bubbles in the water. They would make the water look like it was churning, which is an effect they used a lot in Disneyland. They used it for the canoes on the rivers of America, and they used it for the motorboat cruise. But we don't really see it that much anymore. So, but it still is in the Disneyland version of the attraction. I don't think it's in Disney World's version at all. The Kilimanjaro Rapids.
No.
And I don't think they even make
Nope.
jokes about it. But they were refurbed in 1985, and then the Piranha were added in 2005 as part of the Happiest Homecoming on Earth celebration for the 50th anniversary.
Can I just say that this would be my happiest homecoming, is to find that there's piranha on the Jungle Cruise. What a beautiful thing. We only have them in boats and baits, but this is such a useful, good effect. It's a practical effect, and I think it looks brilliant.
Well, I found something that I think is amazing. So one of these went up for auction, which you might have, I'm guessing, but I found somebody who actually restored that one that you're fine. I found the guy who restored it, and he did a whole YouTube video on restoring this piranha fish. So this is what it looked like when it came out of Disneyland, and it was covered in like all this like pond scum and grime. And I'll just fast forward to show you the end, but he cleaned that so that it now looks like this.
Wow. That's a great restoration.
Yeah, he talked about the process of it, which is actually quite fascinating. I'll post it in our Discord and also
That's so cool.
notes. But it talks about how he was very careful at first because he thought it might be paint, but it actually was a type of fiberglass resin, and then they put layers of glitter in it and then like sealed it, and then they put this orange paint on it that's actually fluorescent. It has a fluorescent quality that will glow under UV light, which is really cool. And he shows it how it does that too.
That is so neat. I have to see that.
Yeah, I'm gonna send it to you.
How long is this movie or his video?
Oh, it's long. It's like 10 minutes.
Oh my gosh.
I'm gonna show all of it, but he shows like how this is the phosphorescent. You can kind of see he was using this to see where he needed to still clean, but you can see the orange starts to glow in the eyes and under the fins, like that.
Yeah. Dumb question. Does he talk about how much he bought it for?
No, he was doing this as a job for somebody else.
Oh, so this rich person bought this and then gave it to him,
and he's like, restore this. So he used a toothbrush to clean it up, so it looks like that.
Unbelievable.
He scrubbed away because he wanted to make sure they didn't want to take off any of the like wear and tear and like the patina on it.
Yeah.
He was just removing the scum that was on it.
These are the things when we're rich. We'll just start buying weird things and have people like. I thought about this the other day. Like, you know how there's the Carnotaurus, right? Like the giant skeleton of the Carnotaurus. Let's say dinosaur gets removed, all of Dino Land USA. What happens to that Carnotaurus? Maybe they use it for something, maybe they don't. What if you got a giant Carnotaurus, like not like the hokey one that's jumping out at you, which is very cool, but like it wouldn't make sense in your house. Like, what if you had the giant fossilized one? I was looking at it today going like, what a like talking point. Like people come to your house, like you have this giant opening and they'd be like, you have a dinosaur in here? And you're like, it's not any dinosaur. And they're like, what do you mean? You're like, it's the dinosaur from Dinosaur the Ride. They're like, wait, you have a fake fossil of a dinosaur from an attraction that's no longer around? Yeah,
No,
I do.
let's be real, Kirk. You would have the iguanodon with the like fake teeth if you had.
Hang on. Just for posterity's sake here.
We gotta be real here. Like you're not gonna have the scary one. You're gonna have the iguanodon.
No. I was saying that I would have the fossil, like the skeleton.
You're gonna have the
not
skeleton. No, you're gonna have like the. It would be way cooler to have the audio animatronic.
These are all bad pictures. None of them like really showcase. This actually does a pretty good job. Hang on.
This is the one with him holding the log up. So like,
Yeah. It's the section where he's holding the log up, but his mouth is. Hang on. Oh, this is really zoomed in. Hang on, this will work perfectly. But it's more white the way that they painted it, but like you can see the distinction right here, like with that lip line, and it just like looks like and they're completely white. It's like dentures.
So it's probably not meant to be teeth. It's probably like part of his mouth structure.
No, it's supposed to be like mouth structure. Like look at this thing. Somebody drew teeth on it. But I'm serious. That's how I feel about it. Like what is that?
Oh, that's like lips. Like
I know. Like what are they doing?
I feel like that's the one you'd have in your living room. He'd be like holding up a piece of like, your structure of your house. Like
Like a lot. Like if we had like a log here, I feel like this one captures it pretty good. Like how bad they look. It looks so bad. Like you could have like a log cabin cross beam, and he's like just holding it up.
Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, anyway, back to the piranha. So this is what they look like in the water, just to give you guys some more context if you're a Disney Worlder. They come up out of the water. I think I have a video of it too. And I'll get to what those bones are in just a second. That's a whole nother story. But there's the little piranha in the water, and they kind of like, you just kind of hover with your boat for a little bit, and then suddenly there's all these bubbles that come up, and then suddenly there's like these fish that are like, look like they're jumping out of the water at you. It's a fairly convincing effect. They also like shoot water out the backside, which is weird. I always think I'm going to get wet there, and I never do, which is probably for the best. You can kind of see how splashy they are here.
I love that. That's so cool.
You get the water's like 4 feet above the splashes are about 4 feet above the water. But they're really fun, and they definitely need restoring here because they got all that pond scum on them. But so the backstory of the piranha was they inhabit a particularly hostile region of the Amazon River. Their predation was noted by some indigenous peoples of the region who marked petroglyphs. I'm going to pause there for the backstory because you got to see the petroglyphs. So this is definitely a departure from Disney World's version. We have these little piranha that are on the rocks, little drawings of piranha.
Mm-hmm.
So those are from the indigenous people of the area.
That's so cool.
Yeah. Also, this rock that looks like this has a giant piranha. Oh, let me see if I can get it. There you go.
Yeah.
And then there's this skull.
Do you know on the safari they have like a bunch of like rock paintings all over the place?
On the safari? Like in Animal Kingdom?
Yeah. Like, when you go in between the rhino or the flamingos into the cheetah area, there's all these. I'll have to take pictures of them. It's so cool. Yeah, it's wild.
And there's also, when you're approaching the piranha area, it's kind of like foreshadowing of what's going to happen. There's there's 3 little like hanging piranha that are up on this thing, and then there's a whole bunch of bones underneath it. So I went down this little like rabbit hole of what are these bones, because we also have them here on the shore. And
is that skull the same as the one that was on that other rock, or no?
Well, yeah. So this is an older picture. You see the bones in the water and you see the skull up there. And then this one is the newer one. They put the skull, there's a skull up here on the rock. And then the bones are still in the water though. I was like, maybe they removed the bones. And but there is, you can see it in the background of this picture. There's still bones in this water. Which you see the bones before. Too. Yeah, if we see the bones before you see the piranha. So I was like, what is this? At first I thought maybe this is the water buffalo, which we'll talk about more in a little bit. But there's water buffalo that used to be like in the water. And I was like, what if they're like the water buffalo have been like eaten by the piranha? Because there's no longer any water buffalo in the water. They're just on the shore. But I looked a little bit more into the backstory. So we have the petroglyphs from the indigenous people and totems of the fish around the river as markers. So what those hanging fish are is totems of the piranha. At some point, so somebody's like, I think, warning people maybe about the piranha are here, right? At some point, the fish were used by the Adventureland Trading Company to serve as the likeness of their piranha haha juju medallion to represent the virtues of good humor. So that, remember we talked about those jujus a while back.
Dude, how am I not a piranha? I am a living piranha.
You totally are. You see the little overbite. So around August of 1891, the Piranha Territory was visited by English colonial explorer Dr. Albert Falls. Falls was near the end of his expedition to map the world's mystical rivers of adventure and spent roughly 2 days in the region. Falls documented the petroglyphs made of the fish and also partook in fishing for the piranhas near the end of their seasonal rapids. This region would go on to be regularly passed through by Falls' business, the Jungle Navigation Company, which he founded in 1911. So here, this is like the part, what are these bones about? Okay. So the thing is that the piranha are not actually dangerous to humans in real life. They're just not. Their little mouths are like too small to be able to really like make any damage. They're small and uncoordinated, and they're only able to take one small bite of its prey before digesting. In addition to this, they're also aware of their own inefficiency at preying on large animals. And the majority of the time, they will not even attempt to eat large animals unless they are starving. So piranha are actually not vicious. Where does this rumor of piranha being these like man-eating crazy fish come from? Well, it comes from a prank pulled on Theodore Roosevelt in 1913, 1914, when he was mapping the River of Doubt. The villagers passed off non-piranha related injuries as being attributed to piranha bites and then dumped a cow head into part of the river where they had secretly trapped and isolated various piranha. Due to having been starved, the piranhas ravenously devoured the cow, causing Roosevelt to speak of the small, relatively harmless fish as hyper-carnivorous man-eaters in his book, Through the Brazilian Wilderness.
That's so interesting.
On that rock is a cow head in reference to that story.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they are pretty vicious it's crazy. You know what? I need to learn more about piranha, like as an actual animal. I know nothing about them.
Yeah.
They were cool. I don't know. I've never seen them in like a pet store.
Yeah. Well, I still have a theory though that the bones in the water were those little water buffalo. Even though that skull though, and I wonder if that is why they moved the skull to the top of the rock, because the skull is a cow skull. It is not a water buffalo skull. I looked them up. I looked up a lot of skeletons of these animals, my friends. That is for sure a cow skull from what I see. So,
they're so cute. They got look at their little mouth.
Are you looking at piranha?
I'm looking at piranha.
Look at his little mouth.
Little peefies. But like, this is what they do. I mean, if you look at them, they do have that glitter effect to them.
They do. Yeah, and I think they captured it really, really well too.
I think they did too.
I had a picture of the book, but apparently it's not on here. But Yeah, that it's a book by Theodore Roosevelt. That's where the whole rumor of piranhas being vicious came from, which I think is really neat.
I mean, that would hurt so bad.
There's a joke that they tell in Disneyland's when you go through and they say, "Did you know there's a vegetarian species of piranha? These aren't them. I just thought it was interesting." So we have a lot more piranha things. Do you want to share any? I've been talking for a while. Do you have some more piranha things you'd like to share?
No, I don't. Oh, yeah, I do. Actually, I do. I'm sorry. Yes, I
You
do.
just look distracted by cute pictures of piranha.
They're so cute. I might have to get red belly piranha. In our queue, we have all these like trophies in this trophy case. It's actually the lightning lane line on the left-hand side, and there is an award called the Order of the Golden Piranha, which actually, or there's a group called the Order of the Golden Piranha, which also wins the best award or best looking award in the trophy case as well. But it made me go like, I love this thing, and it's like kind of steampunky. They actually have done at Trader Sam's, I think 3 different piranha mugs, and then we've already talked about that totem, that juju, the piranha juju that you could also trade for in Disneyland. But also, so this Order of the Golden Piranha, the best I can make out is it is a homage to the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn, which is like a British occultic group founded in the late 19th century. It focused on studying and practicing esoteric disciplines like ceremonial magic and divination and astrology, which I thought was kind of interesting. It was like this occultic group from England.
Like a precursor to like Wiccan is what I read.
Yeah. And there was like a famous guy, Aleister Crowley, and he just looks like he looks like an occultic, This is kind of like pre-Illuminati kind of vibe.
I think he licked a banana slug.
Yeah, he is a banana slug.
I was going to make a really inappropriate joke, and I'm not.
Oh my. Text it to me later, because I feel it'd be a good one.
Oh,
that's all I got.
I lost like all of my pictures that I was going to share with you for these guys, but I do have the facts. So there's also a piranha pool drink in Trader Sam's that's named for the piranhas that was made to look like blood in the water, and it can be served in a souvenir mug resembling the piranhas.
Is it a frozen cocktail?
I don't know, but if you just look it up,
I looked it up right now.
Yeah, it does come in.
Looks like it's.
They have a souvenir mug that looks like a piranha, which is really cool. They also.
This is the one. So I have a golden version of this mug.
Yeah, that one.
Like I said, they've done multiple versions of this piranha mug, different colors. Like this one's really cool. I never saw that one before, and that kind of has. I mean, actually, none of these zero have ever made it to Walt Disney World. Oh, there you go. And there's the actual menu with the Stoli strawberry vodka blended with pineapple juice, cream of coconut, strawberry puree, and blue curacao served in a tiki mug. That sounds fantastic.
Yeah, I would have that.
I would definitely have that.
So also in the Skipper Canteen, there is a fish option on the menu that's described as not piranha. That's their little nod to the piranha. So this is where you get your piranha in Disney World. You get it like on the menu.
I mean, we have it in boats and baits. We get boats
bites.
and baits. Yeah.
And you have one more. You have in right outside. This is one of my favorite little things outside the exit. You have this little one that says feeding hole, keep fingers away, live baby piranha packed in 100% pure Amazon River water. And it's imported from Disneyland.
I get why they do it, and it's just a painted hole, but it annoys me that you can't put your finger in the box.
Yeah, because people shove stuff in there.
Yeah, it'd be trash. It would be filled with trash. Like I know why, but it bothers me. Also, this is the one that I own, this golden one. I got a really good deal on eBay for it when it came out. But yeah,
Well,
Actually,
when I was looking at those mugs, I found this one, and I was just like, I'm really happy I have that now because I was like, wow, that's
they're insanely expensive.
yeah. So thank you
Although,
to
you know, like
Victoria.
if you go on eBay, like this one's not that bad. I mean, I know 85 is a lot, but that's not horrendous in comparison. Some of these things go for like $300. So yeah,
My goodness.
they're really cool though. I mean, they are awesome. And this is a first edition, so of course it's going to be more expensive. Anyway,
I had a picture, and I don't now for some reason
of what?
of the Adventureland Christmas tree, because that also features piranha at Christmas time. It has little piranha hanging. Yeah, the Adventureland Christmas tree is one of my favorites in the park. They have bananas hanging from it and things. It's definitely one of my favorite Christmas trees. Because do they do that in Disney World too? Like, I haven't been to Disney World at Christmas time, like full Christmas time, in a while. Do you guys have like different Christmas trees literally everywhere?
We at the resorts, yes, but not
Not in the park?
like in the park. No.
Oh, like we have like every store gets a Christmas tree, every land gets a Christmas tree.
Yeah. So this one,
That.
here's all the bananas, and then I did find there's a skeleton. There we go. Oh, it's like a coconut snowman too. See,
It's
that's
so
cool.
fun. It's my favorite tree in the parks.
Ours stinks.
I mean, besides the big one that's really pretty, like, but this one's fun because it's got all these quirky little details in it. And then, can you look up an ore, a tropical hideaway ore by Sango Shio, Sango Shio? Because I had a picture of it and I lost it, but
By
in the Sango Shio, Sango Shio. And it's an ore from a 1910 voyage along the Amazon River that hangs in the back of the tropical hideaway. The ore is filled with small bite marks and gnawing, implying that they ran afoul of the pirates. We just don't know much about this character, so we don't know who they are. But we do know that this is one of the senior members of the Society of Explorers and Adventurers. They even signed a certificate of official discovery given to Dr. Albert Falls for his discovery of the ancient Cambodian shrine in June 5th of 1888. But so the tropical hideaway has all these ores that are lined up on the back wall of the restaurant, and they just imply like all these different Society of Explorers and Adventurers Sea members have ores there.
Is it?
I think it's the one
the middle one, the red one.
It's next to the red one. It's right, yeah. The one in the middle of those two colorful ones that's kind of faded. That's it.
Yeah, because I was gonna say it's got
little
marks out of it.
lights on it. Mm-hmm.
Look at this one. This one has a croc still attached to it.
Mm-hmm. That's the I want to say it wrong. Kissimmee.
Yeah, Kissimmee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a Florida one.
So. That's cool. There's also like a ton of arrows in a couple of.
Well, they're all different sea members, and when we do Tropical Hideaway, we'll go over all of them because they are fun.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So shall we move on to you? We did your favorite animal. Should we do one of mine?
Yes, please. Everyone, brace for it. Here it comes.
One of my favorite animals in all of Adventureland is the water buffalo. And I don't know why.
As exciting for everybody else as it is for me.
It's so the water buffalo have been a symbol of Adventureland for a long, long time. If you look back, this is Disneyland in 1955. You can see, it's really hard to tell in this picture, but way up at the top of became a Tahitian terrace over there, you can see a little water buffalo symbol. And they adopted that also for Disney World when they built the Sunshine Pavilion. So you can see here. This is what they looks like. And of course, Kirk's heard this a million times, but they made it so that it looks like water buffalo when you're in Adventureland, and it looks like longhorn cattle when you're from Frontierland. So it doesn't matter what perspective you're from, it makes sense. But I just love them as a symbol of Adventureland because hardly anybody ever notices them. I feel like they're so underrated. I'm like, poor little... What?
No, I love it.
I'm laughing. I'm laughing because the whole chat on my side is like, I feel like everyone gets it. Do you know?
I'm glad they get it. It's the water buffalo. It's how you feel about the piranha is how I feel about the water buffalo.
That much?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Wow. And they don't even have an underbite or nothing.
But look at their doe eyes.
They did. They do.
And so this is actually concept art from the 1950s before Jungle Cruise opened. This is Marc Davis concept art showing 2 water buffalo underneath a cheetah, leopard, cheetah,
Jaguar?
what? Jaguar. Jaguars are black. This one has spots. Cheetah. I'm gonna say cheetah.
Leopard.
I don't know. You're the animal expert, but the water buffalo were around before they installed what you're looking at there, which is the python. So the python didn't come in until 1971 in Disney World, but you can see here in Disneyland, they were just like struggle busting it through the water for a long time until the 1970s when they installed it in Disneyland in 1976. Refurbs is when they moved the water buffalo. They took them out of the water, I believe, at that point for the most part. What? What is so funny?
I don't know. Nothing. This whole thing is, I'm really entertained.
And then so in Disneyland now, they're like parked on the bank looking at them. But I think yours is the Disney World one. Do you have water buffalo
No.
by yours? I think you used to. I feel like this is an old one from Disney World. Because Disneyland had the one that I showed earlier and this version, but I don't think they've had...
Hang on, what does our snake look like?
Wait a minute, because that actually might be Disneyland, but that one in the water they've taken out.
Right.
That's what I think might be.
Python.
And they turned it into bones, I bet. That's what I think they turned. I think they took that one out of the water and they made it into bones.
Yeah, but it's not like they put bones in that one, right?
No. Like, it's storyline. It's just a story. Like, the story is that the piranha got that one that had been in the water since the 1970s, and now he's gone. Like, that's the thing. So, the backstory of this area, a little bit of background from Marc Davis. He said, so we finally put this in. I designed the snake and these water buffalo around here. Now you're dealing with a situation, you're dealing with a tableau. As soon as you begin to put these things together as a group, you're doing a situation, you're not doing a mechanical snake that may or may not sufficiently be realistic to be believed, and very likely it will not be. Again, we are extremely, extremely limited, but when you have that strong situation, you don't worry that these things happen to be fiberglass and so on, because you're reading the situation and you say, this mother is protecting her baby, and God, look at that snake. That's what they want you to get from that scene, is like the mama is protecting her baby and then there's a snake, which I don't know if I've ever actually like gotten that story looking at that scene. I'm just like, look, there's some water buffalo, and they actually do make noise too, which I don't know if I've ever noticed until like recently when I'm really like paying attention.
The water buffalo makes noise?
They make noise. I think it's in that video that I have. Yeah, they make noise. Let me see if I can.
Are you your 5 area 11?
I'm gonna play it again. Hold on.
Oh, that's it. Play this down. It's sharp. You can 5 area 11.
Like grunting sound?
Yeah.
Grunting sound is the water buffalo.
So I'm just looking at the snakes. The snakes look near identical, and so do the trees. However, your snake has different patterning. Like where yours is more banded and stripes all around, ours is more reticulated.
Yeah, like this.
Be the best way to. Yeah, yours is banded, right? Exactly. And ours, here, I'll put this one side by side. Ours is reticulated, kind of like our Maasai giraffe. What? What?
Oh, my head. I'm just thinking about Lisa Simpson saying, like, you're so reticulated.
I don't remember that episode. What was she talking about?
I'm trying to remember. She's like, you're reticulated, aren't you? You're so reticulated. And she's like, I don't remember even what animal she was interacting with, but That's all I hear in my head. Here's the original concept art for this tree too. That you can see from Marc Davis.
Mm-hmm.
And he was actually pretty disappointed with this scene in the end.
Really?
Yeah, like there's a quote from that the Marc Davis book that we've been going through in his own words, and he says, "Here's another thing that I learned. Originally, I drew the snake, and it was going to go in front of what we have, in front of where we now have the hornbill and the 3 crocodiles, which they don't have anymore. But a thing by itself somehow in this medium does not come to life very well. So he thinks that putting this kind of by itself, like they do in Disney World, it's not actually like doing anything. It's kind of weird that it's just there. So
Yeah.
he was not thrilled that this was the staging for this. I think he saw this as like a bit of a failure that they learned from.
Yeah, like it honestly, in Walt Disney World, it doesn't make sense that it's just like by itself. Like I get it, and a snake would be like that, but some interaction with something else would make more sense. But he was probably why the snake thing failed was because he was too close to the project. He was all wrapped up in it.
Well, obviously he was. Look at him staring down that snake.
Dude, why does he look like a crazy person?
They were probably like, okay, hold this drawing and then look at the snake. Look at the python.
It's too much. Why does he look like that? That is true. Plastic. It was.
Well, look at there's like a photo bomber in the back of that photo.
Mark, can you get your nephew out of this picture? Freaking me out.
Well, and he's holding the concept art for it too. That is, I think you showed this one, maybe, with the little water buffalo.
See, that one I think comes across really well in terms of minus the. Oh no, you have a water buffalo on that side too. Like this is pretty. That's pretty screen accurate. Because there's one over there. There's a 2 over here. I mean, that's pretty similar.
But see, look to the left. You don't have a little baby next to that one.
Yeah, there's
but the
baby.
The baby's here now. It could have just been gone for a refurb or something.
Yeah, baby.
But I think the baby really tells that story. I'm glad they left a baby in there. Yeah, it's like the mom's like essentially grunting at the python like, you can't get my baby. Stay away from my baby.
And you know what the snake's saying? Get in my belly. You look like a little baby, and puts it right in my... You know what's so terrible is like now we're at the point where Austin Powers is like an old people's movie.
I know.
So yeah, we're at that point of our lives.
I can't with that.
I remember when Mike Myers, we used to call him Michael. He was
Michael. I wanted to also mention that the snake, we talked about this in the Cambodian temple scene, but the snake was in that original concept art as well for the Cambodian temple is this a chimp that's sitting next to him?
Kate, are you serious? Are you serious?
Right, because he has a tail.
Thank you. Oh my! I'm at a hotel. I cannot shoot the table here.
But no, there's a snake that's just wound around a tree. So this concept was around really early. This was in the 1960s, early 1960s plussing of the Jungle Cruise. They had a snake in a tree, python in a tree. And it never got used in that scene. So then it just got repurposed later for the 1970s plussing. And then I also mentioned about the water buffalo, because this is important. Water buffalo are not actually native to South America, but can be found there due to having been released in the floodplains in 1895. So they're not native.
Who brought them there?
So it says, in Disneyland's Jungle Cruise, Nigel Greenwater mentions Settlers Field being flooded by rains brought by Schweitzer Falls, causing the buffalo to be attracted to the region. So it's like flooded. That's why they're there, which makes sense why he's like strolling in the water. But who brought them there? I don't know. It's domesticated buffalo, which inhabit Settlers Field in the Amazon rainforest, is what I found about them.
Okay. domesticated. That makes sense.
Yeah. So kind of like I always think of them a little bit like oxen, but they're not exactly the same animal. Like oxen have different structure to them, but in the terms that oxen were used for so much like manual labor and things. I imagine the water buffaloes.
Don't wanna be your beast of burden. You never know. Beast of burden. An oxen would be a beast of burden.
Yeah.
Same with horses. Same with camels. They're all.
I know where you're going with that.
No, come. You said for. You literally said for manual labor. That's a beast of burden is an animal used for manual labor.
Okay.
Well, okay. Accent.
Anyway,
Do you have anything else for the python or the water buffalo?
fortunately, no.
I would have loved some sort of crazy water buffalo.
I'll get back to you. I'll get a good one. I'll get a good one for you.
I'm not disappointed, but I'm a little sad.
I didn't realize how much I knew your love for the ones above. I didn't realize your love for the ones below. So I will do a little bit more water buffalo research and we'll go back.
All around. I feel like they're forgotten about. Like people don't even know they exist most of the time. Like both the ones above and the ones in here. Like because you're busy looking at the python. Like nobody's looking at the water buffalo, and they're even like grunting at you, like getting your attention, and nobody knows.
As above, so below. Snakes get all the attention.
They always do.
They always do.
So yeah, I think that's all I have for this evening then, because we're definitely not going to move on to Trader Sam yet. That's a whole nother can of worms we can't open tonight.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
that's all I got.
Christina says she had no idea what you were singing, so thank you.
What? It's like a famous song. I might not have done it justice, but seriously, girls, don't wanna be your beast of burden.
Oh my goodness. So next week we are going to head to Trader Sam's gift shop and Trader Sam first and then Trader Sam's gift shop.
Trader Sam, then souvenirs
And all the things. And there's a lot there. There's a lot and they're different in Disneyland and Disney World. So we'll have a lot to talk about. Anything else you want to share before we pack it in?
How much time do you got, Doc? Oh, this is that kind of show. Can't just open up.
I mean, you can, but
It's a public forum. I'll keep my anxieties to myself.
And I did share on a personal note, I did share with everybody yesterday, but I'll share also here the cover of my book, which you've seen before, but ta-da!
And for those that don't know, this is a new novel, and it's a fiction novel that Kate has written called Where the Fireflies Dance. And it's kind of a little bit of a love story. I don't want to set it up. You set it up.
I'll set it up. So, yeah, I actually have the back of it done, so I have a little bit of the summary of it. So, Disney history as two love streamers find love in the shadow of Sleeping Beauty Castle, but with one of them hiding a dangerous secret, their fairy tale romance might just unravel into an unhappily ever after.
The secret is one has a weird, unhealthy obsession about water buffalo.
Not about me.
I know it's not about you. It's fiction, but I'm just saying.
I don't know.
You know.
I might have to write a character that has an obsession with a water buffalo. That'd be one of their quirks. It'd be great. But yeah, I won't read all of this. I did.
You know, I love all the characters in your books, Kate, but that water buffalo chick, she's like so weird. And you're like,
Oh my goodness.
it's not available yet. People are clamoring. They're wondering.
Yeah.
It's hard with timelines, but
I'll probably post this at least to Discord so you guys can read it on your own. But I'll just say I won't read the whole thing tonight. But it's my two characters' names are Liam E.T. the Magic and Luca Disnerd. So Liam E.T. the Magic. So Leah and Lucas, and that's their story. It will be available in June. I am formatting it now. I have to get it to the printer and get a sample back to make sure that it looks good. Once it's done that, I'm going to publish it and it will be all for you guys. And I will make sure the link is everywhere and you can get it on Amazon and Barnes & Noble and Apple Books and all the places you get your literature. So, yeah.
I read it and I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I think it's very contemporary. I think that both young and older Disney adults and Disney teens, people who enjoy the parks, it's this healthy blend of what's actually occurring in the parks now, wrapped around an interesting relationships. And just really, it's well done. I really enjoyed it.
Thank you. And it is part of a series. So my next one's going to be set in Disney World. I've already written a couple chapters. So I'm going to be doing some research on my next trip and some photos and things for that. And I'll probably be asking on our Discord for some suggestions for things. So if you want to give a little 2 cents here and there for the next book, make sure you're in our Pocket Fam, Walrus Cart Pocket Fam Discord. There's a link in our bios for that. But yeah, thanks everybody. I'm very excited for you guys to have this and it just to be like out the door. Like I've sat with it long enough. I'm like, ship it, get it out. It needs to be out in the world and not just with me. So
yeah.
Well, this has been really fun to chat about these animals, though. I have to say, this was a fun episode.
I will do research on the water buffalo for next week.
Yeah, we also have to talk about the gorillas, because there's more gorillas. There's so many primates, honestly, like in this attraction, like
True.
Ridiculous amounts of primates.
Great shoulder dexterity from those primates. They really have this motion down.
I'm guessing it really is like a monkey in the temple, but it could be a chimp.
I'm going to go with monkey only because of that concept art.
Yeah, yeah, could be. Yeah, that's probably true. Thanks everybody for joining us for Distory. We appreciate you guys being with us on this journey, and we will see you next week for Trader Sam. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.
Bye.